Good morning, everyone. We are here today to unleash the battle of assessments. I am so excited to get started, and I know that everyone here is also excited to get started and to engage in this battle and see who can come up with the most creative assessments.
Sounds fun.
It's fun.
Yay, let's start.
So quickly, we will just introduce ourselves. I will start. My name is Kenna Miller, and I'm a senior instructional designer here.
Hi, I am Alyssa Imes, and I'm an instructional designer.
Hello, I'm Victoria Bai, and I'm also an instructional designer.
And I'm Ronali. I'm a senior instructional media designer.
So first, we're going to talk very briefly about what creative assessments are and kind of just our different approaches to them, since we all are in the process of building out our assessments and courses and things like that. So to me, creative assessments are ways that we can assess learning objectives in a way that is outside of a paper or something more standard like a test. So this could be a simulation, a case study, or something that we actually have the students do or create to gain hands-on experience and to ensure that they are meeting that objective. Alyssa or Vic, do you have a different approach when going into creative assessments and brainstorming those ideas?
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly, but to add on to it, we work with subject matter experts, and I think part of my approach is kind of seeing what topic they want to cover in an assignment, and then I take that and transform it into something creative that also ties into the CLOs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Also adding to what Alyssa is saying, with our CLOs, our course learning objectives, alongside with working with our subject matter experts. This is where Ronali's expertise comes in with her creative juices in the media side of things. If we brainstorm a few ideas, we'll see what we can create and create samples for our students as a demo on how to teach them on how to approach these creative ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronali, do you have any other thoughts, or I guess what is your approach when going into these brainstorming sessions and discussions with the IDs and the SMEs and even the assistant deans as well?
I think I just try to apply the no feel do approach, which is all about, like if they want to just, let's say if it's a no element, then I would use something that's a little more passive. If it's a learn, then I would do something that's more active. And, it's just all based on that and try to correspond that. That's been a very helpful tool with designing.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think we can probably jump in and get started with the game. So how it will work to our audience, it is similar to Apples to Apples, if you've ever played that. On each of the next screens, we will have one learning objective, and it's actually, all of these learning objectives are completely new objectives that we have never worked with before, so we will have to think of something on the spot to assess them. One person will be the judge, and then everyone else will give one example of a creative assessment that could be used to assess that objective. And then the judge will determine her favorite option out of the three. So we will go ahead and get started. I'm also going to keep score, and I'll update us all after each of the objectives, and we can go from there. Does anyone want to be the judge first?
I'll be the judge first, since I am not an instructional designer, so I will stand out.
Okay, So the first objective is understand the principles of project management and successfully manage a project. Does anybody have, Alyssa or Vic, do either of you have an idea yet?
I was thinking about some sort of branching scenario where students can be faced with different challenges that they're going to come across in a project management role. And based on their answers, they will be able to see their consequences or just how it will play out based on their answers.
Yeah. For this, I was thinking they could probably have like a page or portfolio of all the different scenarios and different aspects that come within the project, and they keep many tabs on each to create it. It could be as big as you want, a large scale project, or just like a small little portfolio they can keep along the way.
Yeah, I really like that too. I was thinking of maybe something where they could role play a little bit, where they could, since it is a little kind of two parts, like understanding the principles, maybe they could explain the principles of project management as it relates to them and their understanding, but then also role play as if they were actually managing a project. So they have the experiential piece as well. So something along those lines.
Okay. I will judge this moment. So I think what for me personally, I gravitate towards the role playing. I do feel like that is a very active way to assess learning, and the fact that they can execute their knowledge by pretending you're managing a project shows a lot. So I will go with Kenna.
Thank you. All right, so I have a score here, 1 point for me. But we can go ahead and move right on. Who would like to be the judge next? I can go if... Oh, it looks like we have a question from Callista. How would you build the role player branching scenario? Ronald, do you want to take that first, and then we can talk about it from an ID perspective as well?
Sure. Let's say, okay, so the example was trying to manage projects. I would start off that scenario with just maybe like introducing the character and introducing the situation. And then on that second layer, I would give them a question with 2 different answers. And then from those 2 different answers, let's just say one is this person does a job where he's micromanaging, and the other one where he's not micromanaging. I would create different outcomes for each situation, and then it would just kind of develop more in each scenario.
Yeah, definitely. I know that you have all of those creative thoughts when making the branching scenarios, and I think from an ID perspective, our goals are to just, I think Vic mentioned it before, or Alyssa, when you're working with the SMEs, you kind of want to align to their vision. You also want to make sure that you are achieving whatever the CLO is so that you can successfully assess that. I think is one of our bigger priorities, but for me, it's definitely a group effort working with the SMEs and also the media designers. So Ronali or Efren or whoever's working on the project with us. But Alyssa or Vic, do you have thoughts?
I was going to say pretty much the same thing, where I would work with someone like Ronali and the SME and kind of just collaborate and see what everybody wants. And with our collaboration, we're able to make something really great.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we can jump into the next one. So this one is analyze the impact of emerging technologies on society.
Ooh. Can I?
Yeah, jump in.
This one? I think immediately, if I was to think fun and creative, I would probably do a creative assessment where they do like a Shark Tank style of pitching ideas of different technologies, and make that into like some type of game.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I was thinking about something, and I don't have a full thought, but something where you could maybe do a poll on social media on a topic like artificial intelligence, since that's an emerging technology. So a social media poll, and then maybe an in-person poll with people that don't view it on social media, so you can kind of see the impact of social media and the impact of people's opinions that maybe aren't on it as much.
That's a good one.
Since it has analyzed, it got me thinking of this is most probably a higher level on the Bloom's taxonomy. So it got me thinking more technical side, where they do a data analyst projects and see the trends and datas and impacts, with analyzing trends and impact on how technology is more beneficial, what it's provided versus without the technology. They could do a project that compares and contrasts between all the different technologies and whatnot.
Oh, that's hard. Man, all of those are so creative. I am going to go with Alyssa's, because I like how you talked about comparing on technology, but then also doing a study and actually asking people who may not be on technology about just their thoughts and experiences too.
Thank you.
So now we have Alyssa has 1 point and I have 1 point. Who would like to go next?
I can judge this one.
I think for this, I would create a branching scenario or like a simulation where they are, let's just say, in the real world, and just trying to figure out different ways to apply that environmental sustainability.
For this one, I think I would actually ask students to pick an issue and actually do something to solve the problem if they could. I know some things are probably too big for students to do, but I don't know, if they see a lot of trash or litter in their neighborhood, they could pick that up, or those types of things. But I would actually ask them to do something and then reflect on the process and what they've learned and the impact that they're making.
I think for the deliverable for this one, sorry if it feels like I'm copying a bit of tennis, but I like the idea of how you said they choose a problem that aligns with them more, that makes an impact for them, but showcase it through like a multimedia presentation of some sort, whether a narrative storytelling or just a simple presentation.
Those are all great. I think I'm going to pick Kenna for the winner, just because I like the physical aspect where they're doing something, like how she talked about recycling or picking up trash. I like with the action part of it.
Thank you. Right, who would like to go next? I think it's your turn, Vic.
I'll judge.
Okay, so this one is explore the fundamentals of nutrition and its impact on human health.
Man, there's so many directions you can go in with this one, so I'm trying to think of the best one. I guess I can start. I'm thinking to try to be a little bit more fun and creative, students could either pick like a restaurant, like let's say Taco Bell, or they could pick a dish like spaghetti, and the challenge would be to like recreate the tacos at Taco Bell or recreate spaghetti, but in like a more nutritious way, so you can still eat what you want but not feel bad about it.
I think for me, I would create like a role play simulation where the student has to act as a dietitian, and he or she has different clients and they have different personal objectives. Let's say one wants to lose weight, one just the other thing because they have a condition, and I'd have that student who is the dietitian and nutrition just kind of provide all the different outcomes or like suggestions for each client.
Man, this is so hard. There are so many good ideas. I think for this one, I would do something a little bit more like on the social media side, where I would have students, pick a topic in nutrition. I'm sure there's a lot. I'm totally not a science person, so but I'm sure there's a lot of topics that they could pick to talk about, and I would ask them to make like a social media post, whether that be a TikTok or an Instagram reel or something like that, where they not only explain but then provide tips to about that condition or topic.
Oh man, you guys made this a hard choice, but I like how Ronaldie did the role playing where the students can put themselves in the dietitian's shoes, and that way they're a step ahead and they can brainstorm what scenarios to expect and the impacts of it.
Yeah. And I think George had a question. He asked so many great ideas. How do you come up with these ideas?
I don't know.
Just brainstorm.
Talking with each other, I think, also spurs a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also just kind of like really putting yourself in that situation and asking yourself, how do I want to learn this? What would make me engaged? What would it make me? I think I use that a lot.
For sure.
You could have a body that changes shapes according to the decision. That's great idea as well.
Yeah. I think you just learn to instead body mold with the course. You see what the course needs, what type of course, what are the students like. And if I was a student, would I want to do that assignment X, Y, Z? Would that assignment work for me? And how will that assignment help me?
Exactly. Okay, it looks like we have the next one. Interpret and critique works of classical music and their composers.
Maybe the judge for this one.
Yeah, you want to judge this one?
Yeah, it goes back to my good old days of orchestra.
Oh.
This one's a tough one.
This one's very tough. I don't think I've ever had to like think about an assessment regarding like music yet, so the only thing that's coming to my mind is something along the lines of like switching roles. So, and I don't know the technical terms, but the composer and the person performing the classical music would maybe switch roles. And so the classical music person can learn the role of the composer, because I feel like when you can learn the role of the composer when you're back in your original position. You know, like what's expected and what's needed when you're able to have that different viewpoint.
For this one, I think I would do something along the lines of maybe like ask the student to write a letter to the composer, and outline like, okay, this is what I heard, this is what I think it means, here's what I didn't like, here's what I did like, maybe something along those lines. But also, like you, Alyssa, I have not had the opportunity to work on a music course, so I'm not sure the types of, I guess, the topics and the things that the student should know and be assessed on. So that might be out of the box. I don't know.
And I think for me, I'd probably create like another game, which is a lot like, I kind of created like a judging show, like maybe America's Got Talent or American Idol, but call it like Classical Idol, and have the student act as the judge, and then have different composers come in, and then they would have to provide their critiques on each of them.
What do you think, Vic?
Yeah, a lot of hard choices, and yeah, like you guys, this one took me by surprise because I don't think I had music classes either. It just took me back to I guess the days of orchestra. But this was a hard one. But I like Ronali's idea where they're watching it and it's like musical idol, American Idol, where they judge. That way it tackles their interpretation and the critique of, and it also would give them a chance to speak out there and or utilize their oral skills.
Thank you. I love that show. What I immediately thought of. Oh, you could use the interview bot, Mozart or Beethoven. Yeah. There is a cool AI tool called Character AI, where you can interview and interact with any character and any past celebrity, and this would be a great way to implement that AI tool as well.
That's a great idea.
I think I'll be the judge for this one. The objective is students will be able to identify the impact of personal grief on their own life. That's a tough one.
For this one speaks out to be more of a personalized, very personal CLO. Since it talks about personal grief and themselves. So for me, for this one, I would probably go with have a self-reflection journal. Either they just jot there, you can either break it up, chunk it up, little thoughts throughout the week, or they could probably write maybe like a letter to a loved one or friend or someone connected to them that passed on.
That's a good one.
That is good. I have something similar but a little different, where someone could write a letter to their past self that's specifically going through a time of grief in their life, where they can talk to them and kind of walk them through it. And if they haven't gone through a time of grief, then they could also have the option of writing to their future self that will go through something difficult that they can review later on in life.
I like that idea as well. And I think I would do something similar, but in this case, I would for sure offer multiple ways to complete it. So if they want to write a letter, or maybe they want to make a video or a voice recording, or like a mood board or something like that. Just because, everybody might identify with it a little bit differently. So I would kind of do the same thing, but offer multiple ways to submit it.
Those are all really good, and they're all very similar. But I think if I were to do this, I'd probably go with Vic's idea, just because when it comes to like personally for me, like when I think of my personal situation, I do think just doing daily journaling helps a lot. And I feel like if they were to have a semester or a session where they had to like write down their thoughts every single day, and they could look back on it and just kind of see the different way that they're growing just by journaling, I think that does show impact. There are so many types of grief too, absolutely, which is good to journal all those different types of experiences.
Absolutely. Okay, so this one is demonstrate proficiency in the use of geographic information systems. Who still needs to judge?
I think I do for the second time.
Okay, I do as well. Do you want to take this one or?
Sure.
Okay. This one's a tough one. I think for me, for something like this, I would want to have the students, they would need to actually use the systems. So maybe you could do something like almost like a scavenger hunt. I don't know if it works off of like landmarks or types of things, but you could tell them, look at different coordinates or look for different things on this system, and then make sure that they're able to find it and use those things. I don't know if that makes sense, though. I'm not super familiar with what GIS is.
Same here.
Yeah. I was thinking something similar, but a little of what you were saying, kind of with the different landmarks and coordinates, possibly create like thinking on the lines of a brochure of a certain guide, like a brochure. Yeah, I'm swallowing my own word. A brochure and guidance for tools to visualize it and to tell the coordinates of their chosen location.
Did you have an idea, Ronali?
I'd probably just create like a maybe I'd probably create a quiz or Kahoot game, maybe, and then just kind of provide different answers and questions, but make it fun.
I think I'm gonna pick Kenna again, because I think a scavenger hunt would be really fun, where they have to go in the tools and demonstrate that they know how to use them.
Thank you.
I think we're at the 30-minute mark, guys.
This is our last question, so we can wrap up fast. And I'm the last one to judge, I think. So this one is critically evaluate the impact of mass media on contemporary society. Any ideas?
I have a couple. I'm just trying to figure out how to put it together into a thought. I'm thinking something along the lines of either analyzing two different like newscasts and seeing how like one is very pro something and one's very against it, and just analyzing maybe the people that follow them and comment on it, just to see like a public news, they can have two different opinions, and just analyzing the effects of that.
I think mine is a similar idea. I would just try to have them go maybe like or have a debate, just going over the pros and cons of mass media.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere along the lines of that, but they create their own. In this case, they create a case study of different scenarios of what's mass media, probably compare with mass media in contemporary society. Well, it's something after they research it, and then they create a scenario situation case study.
Yeah, those are all good ideas. I think I'm going to go with Vix. I really like your idea of creating a case study around whatever they find. I think that would be a really cool take on this as well. But I liked all the ideas. They were all very good. All right, so it looks like that was the last of our objectives. We have our resources here if you want to check them out. The first QR code is the link to our YouTube channel, so you can check that out to see some of the creative media and creative assessment pieces that we have on there as well. And then the second QR code is our OER page, which that will also contain creative media and some of the pieces that we have put into our courses. And then also we want to give a shout out to our Master of Science in Instructional Design and Technology. It's our brand new master's program here, completely CBE or competency based. So if you're interested in that, you can scan the QR code or head over to lapu.edu/ascend to get more information about that. And I think we're coming up on time here, so I'm going to tally these up real quick. We have Vic with 2 points, Alyssa with 1 point, Ronally with 2 points, and me with 3 points. Yay! That was so much fun. Did you guys enjoy that?
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, so much fun, and you guys gave so many great ideas. I'm just keeping tabs and saving them for next time.
I know
these pillows were challenging.
Yeah,
and it was hard to think of it on the spot since we don't have music classes or
right.
Like that.
Yes.
It got me like, that was great.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for being on the live stream. And do we want to count it down and say it together?
Sure.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
This
And
is
this
what
is what
One day we'll get.